Hindi madali ang buhay. Competition is tough. At kaya gumagaling ang tao, kaya may development, ay dahil meron tayong innate drive para maging the best that we can be in our lifetime. And then, history and people will judge our work. And just like in any industry, meron din mga kilalang primo sa mundo ng motor. And meron din mga up-and-coming na magcha-challenge dito sa mga matitingkad sa industriya. The Japanese brands have dominated for decades. And you can't blame them. Maganda naman talagang mga gawa nila. And after losing big time during World War II, bawi sila as a nation. They worked hard. And look at where they are now. Taiwanese motor brand Kymco has been at their tails challenging their products through the years in terms of reliability, design, and quality. Welcome po sa Makina Moto Features. Ito po ang Kymco KRV 180i TCS, yung scooter na binansagan ng ilang mga rider na the Japanese scooter killer.
September in my eyes, like a diamond in the sky. How I wonder, satellite strong from the moon, and the world your balloon beeping down for the station. Winter's cold. Sails and the cold by the stars chasing. Everything good needs replacing. Look up, look down, all around.
Kailan lang at hinost po natin ang launch ng KRV 180i TCS. I got reminded na rin, and I have been saying this sa mga ibang Kymco features sa makina. Ilan taon na rin silang number 1 sa Europa nang dahil sa mga maxi scoot nila. Pero dito sa Asia, ang labanan talaga ay sa smaller displacement automatic scooters. Because napaka-practical nga naman ito, komportable at abot kaya ang presyo. Maganda ang market share ng Kymco sa retro scoot nilang Kymco Like. Pero after seeing what I saw in the launch, ang Kymco ay ngayon may nilabas na pantapat sa mga sigang small displacement automatic scooters available in the market. Features niya is a who's who of socialite moto parts. Ang KRV 180i TCS ay ang kauna-unang compact scooter na may independent swing arm, which is trickle-down technology na galing sa flagship nilang AK550, which is, by the way, one of the best, actually it is for me, the best maxi scoot out there at this point. Check out my video on that if you haven't still. On KRV 180i TCS, the handling of this is truly sport level. Hindi lang ito pang casual riding. Ang approach ng Kymco in designing the KRV is a method of trying to come up with something new by combining two different concepts. Yung KRV, hybrid ito actually. Kinombine ang comfort ng touring maxi scoots and the handling performance of a sports bike. At dinaan nila to technically hindi lang sa forma. Makikita natin na meron siyang partially exposed parts sa sport bike sa likod. Same din yung handlebar niya pang sport bike. And although scoot yung tindig niya, may formang sport racing ang disenyo. You know, the all-new Kymco KRV 180. KRV stands for Kymco Renew Your Vision. And that statement is very apt kasi nung nilabas to ng Kymco, when I first saw this, I was really surprised. And sinabi ko na, teka muna, iba na datingan ng Kymco Especially in this segment, di ba? Yung compact scooter. So, in terms of design concept, it's like a hybrid. According to Kymco, ang ginawa nila, gusto nila yung datingan nito is half maging scooter yung harap, and then yung likod datingan niya big bike. Dito meron tayong step through gulay board, yung rake, yung wheels, yung proportion niya in conjunction with the face sa harap. Scoot na scoot yung dating. Sa likod, let's delve into this a bit more. Ito po yung isa sa mga highlights ng KRV 180. Ito yung pinagyayabang ng Kymco dito sa scooter na ito. Ito lang ang compact scooter sa buong mundo na meron independent swing arm. So, ang effect po niyan is you're gonna have a lower center of gravity, your balance is gonna be better, and yung cornering ability natin mas ma-optimize. That's the advantage of an independent swing arm. That's gonna offer pretty good sport riding capability right there. Diba? And according to Kymco, this is a first in this segment. Naman na rin ng KRV galing sa AK550 yung tinatawag nilang PTM or Power Transmission Matrix. So, dahil meron siyang independent swing arm design na nagsiseparate ng engine at transmission, yung center of gravity nito is effectively moved forward, mas napaharap. At dahil doon, mas hindi hirap at nabawasan ang dala ng rear suspension. There's less pressure at the rear now. Unsprung weight, ika nga. Sabi ko sa inyo, they're really serious about combining maxi scoots and sport bikes. So if you look at this part over here, yung sinasabi nila lang yung this part gusto nila magmukhang parang sport bike. In this angle with partially exposed parts gives that feel nga na parang sport bike siya. And this looks very, very aggressive yung design dito, all pointing that way. We're going that way. These are very aggressive angles, very sporty angles you see here. Sa taillight naman with the lines that we see here, this reminds me of supercars, Lamborghini-esque. This whole scooter, marami siyang kinukuha ng inspirasyon and lines from supercars, sport bikes. If you look at this part over here also, exposed yung belt natin, and that's cool. And if you look at the front naman, very sporty talaga yung line na. I mean, that's a nice looking face over there, diba? Kaya, if you look at the whole scoot from this side, and if you compare it with the other Kymco scoots, di hamak, ito na yung pinaka-sporty scoot nila. And they got into a more aggressive look. And this is what you get. Ang makina ay 175cc's, 4 valves po ito at liquid-cooled. Lakas din talaga at 17 HP with a dry weight of 143 kilograms. Napakainam ng power-to-weight ratio niya, and we're saying this not just by feel. There's an actual number at 8.4 kilograms PS. So according to this number, it is the best in its class. Siya na yung may pinakamatinding power-to-weight ratio under 200cc's. So sa stock sa segment na ito, yung KRV, siya na. Ang KRV ay meron din rigid engine mounting as you can see in the picture. This again means very good handling and minimal chassis twisting, especially kung mabilis kang kumuha ng kanto. The other automatics do not perform as well in this area. Suspension naman, meron ton KSS or Kymco Suspension System. Mono center shocks, and this increases stability in the corners and improve din ang dual load support nito para sa mahilig mag-angkas.
On a cobweb afternoon in a room full of emptiness by freeway.
It doesn't stop there. We have LED lights. Pakan natin ang brakes. Yan ang ating brakes. Ating signal. And I'm also digging, this is such a Kymco trademark na may tunog. Napaka-importante yan. Sometimes you can't naman look at your gauge. Nagra-ride ka nga, di ba? You have to be looking up. Maganda na meron audio cue na yung signal light mo is still running. So you don't want people behind you thinking na liliko ka na hindi ka naman liliko. Ilaw naman natin sa harap. O, di ba? Angas. So let's fire it up. And that is your light. Bright, not bright, bright, not bright. Meron siyang keyless entry. Comes in a nice box. So basically, kailangan mo lang lumapit sa scoot. I think about 1.5 meters, and the scoot can sense it. Look for the keyless button, which is here. You press that. And you're gonna hear that toot-toot. And then magbu-blue na ito. You can now proceed to shift it, and that's what the gauge is. So the gauge is pretty much straight up. Diretsuhan tayo, no frills. Of course, if you've watched previous Kymco features, napag-usapan natin yung mga gauges nila na may nudo na sobrang high-tech na pwede may connect sa smartphone mo. This does not have that. This will appeal for those who just want straight up information. So ang type ko rin dito, natutuwa ako dito na hindi nila nilagay yung controls dito where we find that in other scoots wherein you have to reach in and push, right? Yung controls natin is here. You can control it with these two buttons. So, splinit niya. Ang left natin na button is mode. Ang right naman natin is adjust. So, we have our odometer. We have our trip meter. We have our extra meter. So, ito naman, pwede mo sukatin dito, let's say, yung sunod mong oil change, diba? Or yung next service mo. Got your battery indicator over there, your temperature, fuel, and your speedometer. That's it. So, an interesting note here also, kunyari tapos ka na mag-ride, napatay mo, at medyo nagmamadali ka that nakalimutan mo i-press yung keyless to turn that from blue to red. Basta dala mo yung susi at lumayo ka, yan ay kusang magre-red. Pag malayo ka na, ariko. Like so, di ba? Beyond 1.5 meters. So, makikita mo, patay na po siya. So, let's take a look at the compartment natin ngayon. So, to access the seat, twist to the left. No need to push down or anything. And you'll hear that click at bubuksan na natin siya. Choink. This is the space that you get. Point of improvement for Kymco here, I wish that this would go all the way to the handlebar. Talagang mas buka pa. I mean, at least for me, when I'm reaching into things here that can hamper your movement, di ba? Hinge lang naman katapat niya, di ba? Or something. So, meron din siyang spring load action dito. Pag bukas mong ganyan, pag nandito ka na, binitawa, bigla mahuhulog. It's gonna hold itself. Alright, so ano ang kasya dito? Full face helmet. Let's try. It won't fit that way. Maybe this way. Okay, ayaw na pumasok. Let's try it that way. Nope. I think it's because of my rear spoiler here. Kaya let's try another helmet. So this is a more regular sized helmet. Yan. Still won't fit that way. But pa. There. Ta-da! So yeah, it can fit a full face helmet. Depende sa klase ng helmet. Kung meron ka mga lawit-lawit na mahaba na helmet, it might not fit. Kung mas maliit yung ulo mo, mas maliit yung shell size, natural mas kakasya yan dyan. So another thing that I appreciate about yung compartment natin is meron tayong pilot light. Napaka-helpful niyan sa gabi when you have to look for stuff. May ilaw tayo dyan agad. Now this is actually, that is an air filter. It's not a battery, it's an air filter. Easy access para sa maintenance natin as opposed to abutan tayo sa gilid and all of that. At sa mga mahilig chumap-chap ng legs, it's going to be from my foot to the lower part of my knee. Yan lang po yung kasya. Actually, dalawa. One leg here, one the other there. And chinelas check. That is my chinelas. Size 11. That's the width, more or less. So, ang capacity nito is 25 liters. So, again, I don't bother with the liters too much. Mas importante sa akin yung configuration ng U-box. Kasi, yeah, iba, 30 liters. Pero, pahaba naman ng ganun. I mean, hindi kasya ang helmet, diba? So, mas importante sa akin is how they maximize the space. So, for 25 liters at ganito yung itsura niya, you can see it's almost like a cube. And as we know, a square would contain more space, diba? For 25 liters, they maxed out the space here. Compartment naman po sa harap, that is a lot of space right there. Uy, terno. Blue on blue. So, chinelas check, yan ang kasya. That's a lot of space. That's a plus for me. Daming pwedeng lagay dyan. Ano yan, Sir Sak? Dyan po yung daanan ng ating gasolina. So, go here, twist to the right. Bubukas na siya. Let's see it now in slow motion. So, this gasolina will go all the way down here. So, ang ating gas tank is located on the lower part of the scooter, which is great kasi it adds more weight to the bottom of the bike. So, yung stability ng scooter na to, okay, diba? Low center of gravity. What do we have here? Meron na tayong USB port po mga kaibigan para sa ating mga gadget. I'm glad that it is located here, right on top of the compartment. Pwede mo ilagay yung inyong gadget dyan. If you're on the go and you're using it for Waze or Google Maps, yung phone nyo. So yung access for power is very near, from the handlebar to here. So that's good. In terms of the seat naman, very, 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 very nice. Kung maramdaman nyo lang yung aking nararamdaman ngayon, napakasarap po sa aking mga kamay. Ramdam na ramdam ko po yung texture ng seat. Meron tayong nice stitching over here. And this, I don't know if you see it, but it's two-tone. Iba po yung tela natin dito. Iba yung tela natin dito. In terms of foam, Very generous para sa mga lalaki katulad ko. Very nice and comfortable ang ating crown jewels over here and over here. As you can see, there is a lot of foam right in this spot. And it's here sa edges when you sit down. Diyan nagkakaroon ng maraming pressure at maraming ipit sa blood flow natin sa upuan. Now, this one has a lot of leeway. Napakalambot. Very nice, very comfortable seat. For the pillion though, medyo yun na, medyo wala na. Ito lang yung bagsak niya. Wait. So, the pillion rider, you will not be as comfortable as the rider. Grab bar natin, good quality. Pretty good. Now, in terms of space, chinelas check. Ang daming room, diba? And you can also put your feet over there. Meron siyang konting overlap. Just a little bit. Pipik ng konti yung foot. But yeah, that's a lot of space over there. In terms of legroom naman, when you're sitting down, I am 6 feet tall. Medyo mahaba tayong tao, mahabang ating legs. And for here, in terms of legroom between the leg shield, I have a lot of room. I'm not hitting that. When I'm turning though, when ganito yung position natin, slightly bukaka. On the left side, wala akong problema. I have clearance. It's not hitting, hindi siya tumatama. When I'm turning to the right though, the throttle is now hitting my leg. Now, I don't know why that is. Be mindful, kung mahaba ka at ganyan yan, gagawin mo pag medyo iikot ka na, iwasan mo na lang konti, diba? Just adjust. And to take a close look at the fit and finish of the KRV, maganda yung paint job, maganda yung execution. Plastics niya, the front part looks very primo, ika nga. If you go into the intake, this part is also pretty good. Now, if you go to the step board, this is where you can see na mas lamang yung mga plastics na ginamit sa harap versus what they have on the floorboard. This looks a bit on the regular side. This part naman, I don't know if you can see the difference sa camera, but this is more primo. Ito mas primo, ito mas primo. This part is, I would say, not as primo as well. But when you go up here na, handlebar level na tayo, mas naging okay na siya. I can also appreciate, Kymco has been getting their mirrors right. Ito, hindi ko to papalitan. I like this mirror. Mukhang tatagal siya. Grips are okay. I'd probably change that. Rear end, bar end, okay. Good quality. So this is the passing light pag kailangan mo mag-overtake. I don't know if the camera can give it justice, but actually, this is better than a lot of the yellow switches that we see out there. Ito, wala akong nakikitang mga molds na, alam mo yung mga tenga. Malinis yung plastic, malinis yung pagkagawa niya. So I just wanted to point that out. Good job, Jan. The rest here are okay. So let's take a listen on how this thing sounds. At ang ating busina, ito pong tunog. Meep, meep. Kulay naman, available po ito in 4 colors. Meron po tayong Snow Peak Silver, Thunder Shock Purple, Ether Black, and Indigo Blue. For safety, dual-channel ABS siya, so harap-likod. Meron din siyang TCS or traction control, something na hindi pa common dito sa displacement na ito. And briefly, ang ibig sabihin ng traction control is the bike can sense if yung speed ng front tire at yung speed ng rear tire ay hindi sabay. Pag mas mabilis yung isa, like yung likod, pag nag-skid ka na, nawalan ka ng traction, yung output power ng scooter bababa. Para yung skidding sa likod, pag nawala ka ng traction, malilesen. So it's got TCS, which is great. So again, kung yung bike mo may both ABS, dual channel, and TCS, that's the safest you can get for braking. Katandem niya dyan ay disc sa harap at 270mm, tapos sa likod naman 230mm. Napakahusay ng specs ng braking ng KRV.
Alright, let's talk about brakes, baby. We're gonna try our left lever first. It's going flag. Ramdam ko na siya dito, which I like. I encountered another scoot na hindi ko maramdaman na bumubomba yung ABS. It's not a bad thing, pero mas sanay ako na nafe-feel ko. I don't know, makaskampante ako. Maybe is the word. If I feel it, the ABS pumping from the levers. Let's go for 60. Zero skid, not even a hint ng bahid ng skid yung likod. Wala yung konting iyak, tapos bibitaw yung ABS, walang ganon. Okay, let's go for the front now. Right lever, 30 kilometers per hour. Brake. Oh shit, sorry. Medyo nagulat ako sa front brake nito. The front brakes are really good. If you're not careful, sub-sub ka. Gap between the strength of the rear versus the front, medyo malayo. Talagang mas malakas ng ihamak yung front brakes natin. You really stop. 40 kilometers. Okay, napasipa ko na yung ating hi! So 40 kilometers an hour, napagana ko ng ABS. Okay, that's really good stopping. I won't go any faster anymore and slam it because yung front, how it behaves, yung response ng front brakes na is really good. Now let's try both. Since I'm doing both brakes now, I can go a little bit faster. Okay, so in terms of stopping power, hindi yung quality ng brakes. I'm talking about the stopping power niya. Yung lakas nito, siguro ganyan kataas, lakas ng front brakes niya. It's really stop you. The rear naman, mas mababa yung stopping power, pero hindi ka naman magsiskid. And when you combine both like this, maganda yung hinto. Let's see, the traction control will work. Front brake. Wait, para makita natin. Uy, may santol!
Now, if there's a point of improvement here for Kymco that I would say, kasi alam mo, all out na sila. They have safety features, you have ABS, meron tayong TCS. Sana meron silang safety kill switch dito sa side stand na hindi siya umaandar pag nakababayan. Kasi I can fire it up while that thing's down. Right? And of course, akala mo, pwede ka na umandar, lalarga ka na, naka-on pa rin yan, tutuko dyan, boom. And that's the cause of accidents. So I wish Kymco would add a kill switch here. I think that would be great na may kill switch siya. So with all of this, parang lahat na andito, di ba? And this makes one think. What would make a rider think twice? Ano ang makakapag-atras sa rider na bumili nito, di ba? With all the bells and whistles that it has to offer, especially yung mga nasa 150cc and up ang hinahanap. To be honest with you, alam mo kung ano yun? It's the price. Ang presyo nito ay nasa 189,000 pesos. Ang promo price nito is less than 10,000 pesos. So 179,000 pesos ito pag lumabas na. Now, bago kayo magwala, I just wanna tell you na actually, mas mahal pa ang KRV sa Taiwan. Which is why yung mga taga-Taiwan, nagwawala na sila doon. Tapos sila naman ang gusto lumipat dito sa Pinas. So kumbaga, sagad-sagad na raw sila sa presyo na yan. Like I said, walang perpekto ang motor. At kung may weakness ito, if there is an Achilles heel that is very apparent, it would be the price. Now, bago ka magmukmok or madepress or maging desperado at mag-isip ng paraan ng kumita sa hindi magandang paraan, teka muna, there is some good news. Buti na lang, maglalabas din ng Kymco ng lower variant at a much more competitive price for what it can offer. Meron din silang KRV DDS version. Presyo, 168,000 pesos, less 10,000 pesos promo as of this video release. So, nasa 158,000 lang ang price nito. Yan ang may laban sa presyohan to features against the competition. Diyan ka mapapaisip niya. I mean, the difference lang between the flagship, yung DDS, wala lang siyang keyless entry, dual slot charging port, ABS, traction control, yung hazard light, yung met-in light, or yung pagbukas mo ng upuan, iilaw siya. Yun lang yung mga wala, diba? Yung mga ibang motor naman sa ganyang price range, wala din ganyan diba? More or less, right? So this is actually more pound for pound against the competition. Pero yun nga, mas malakas. So, kung lamangan sa value for money sa kanilang lahat, the KRV DDS ang mukhang mas pipiliin ng mga rider for now. Even for me, I mean, at that price range, the 189, although pwede ko rin sipagin at ipunin yon, but if I had the cash right now, I would feel there's more value for the motorcycle doon sa KRV DDS version. Usually, kung napanood yung mga ibang reviews natin sa makina, nire-recommend ko lagi yung flagship, mas lalo na pag yung price difference is not that great. But in this case, I will go for the KRV DDS. Ang sarap naman talagang mabuhay sa panahon ngayon, no? sarap magmotor, ang daming pwedeng pagpilian, ang sarap maranasan at makita ang paglabas ng isa na namang dekalibreng motor mula sa isang brand na through the years have maintained their consistency and drive to excel. Congrats Kymco! You are now bringing good game to the sub 200cc automatic table. Husay nito. Eto po si Sir Zach from Makina Moto Features. Ciao!
Lay it down, let me see your hand. Show me what you got. You're always talking, but you're not playing. It doesn't match your face. Gotta find my